Hello again, writers. We're going to talk about the writing process today, and we're going to do this over and over and over all year long until it gets to be just like we're real writers, and we don't mind to go back and change or fix our writing. So let's look at the steps of the writing process. So the first thing we do is we brainstorm. When I brainstorm about a topic, I think, what do I want to write about? And if we're writing a personal narrative, I'm going to think about interesting stories that have happened to me lately or maybe a long time ago. And I'm going to write those maybe in a list or maybe in a speech bubble. I may write it all over my page until I get all of my ideas out. Then when I've done that, I'm going to look at the ideas on my paper and I'm going to say, oh, I really want to write about that one. And so brainstorming means that I don't always pick the first thing I think about. I look at lots of options and then I pick the one that I think I have the best story for today. Next in the writing process is I write. I just write down what happened. And the first time I write, I might not remember everything. And I might start writing the middle of the story and I might remember something that happened at the beginning that I didn't write down yet. And you know what? That's okay, because that's what real writers do. And so what I'll do is I will revise as I'm writing, and I'll just add that to the beginning, because I haven't published yet. This is just a messy copy. So I can write all over it. It doesn't have to be exactly perfect yet. And so once I get my writing down, then I leave it and I don't look at it until the next day. That lets my brain forget what I did so that I can look at it with fresh eyes. When I come back and read it again, that's when I can revise and edit. When I revise my writing, I look for ways to make it better. Remember when we talked about adding adjectives? That's a great way to make my writing better. I can also combine sentences. If I have a whole bunch of really short sentences, then my writing sounds like a robot wrote it. And we don't want robot writing. So I might use and or but or, and I might combine some of those small sentences to make compound sentences. Editing is a little bit different than revising. Revising is usually when I add something and make it better, but editing is when I look closely at it and I make sure that everything's correct. I look at punctuation. Did I end my sentences with a correct punctuation? Did I use periods? Did I use question marks? Did I use exclamation points? I want to be sure that my writing shows those things in it. And if I want my reader to hear it yelling, then I have to give them an exclamation mark to know that I'm yelling. Also, when I edit, I look at if I capitalized things. I want to be sure that I capitalize the beginning of every sentence and the beginning of people's names and the names of places and the names of things. Because if it's a proper noun, it must be capitalized. The other thing I want to do when I edit is I want to be sure I spelled correctly. So a lot of times I'll circle words that I'm not sure about, and then I can ask a grown-up to help me, or I can use a dictionary and I can fix the words that I spelled incorrectly. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to publish my writing. That means all of those things that I added and all of those things that I fixed, I'm going to get a fresh new piece of paper and I'm going to write my writing with no mistakes and my neatest handwriting. It will be my best writing ever. And you know what? I can't wait to read it, writers.